Hello and welcome to episode 17 of our Timberborn update for hard mode Let's Play with the Iron Teeth faction. It is the beginning of a 19-day drought here in cycle 26. Last time we moved a whole lot of stuff around in our food growing and I guess you could say processing area. Have things a little bit better laid out. There's still a lot more we can do to improve this area, and we're going to keep working on that, as well as a laundry list of items from the comments that you guys suggested. Chiefly among those, we need to get power over to this area, connect everything up, because we are going to be putting some additional water wheels here to contain the power from the output of this giant reservoir. And we want to connect everything up so that we can share power across the entire map, and also utilize this area for processing the stuff that's coming out of the underground ruins. We're going to need to get that going today as well. So before we get too far ahead, let's talk about some of the other items based off of the comments of last episode. Some of you guys think this would be a great area to put some water wheels so that no matter if this floodgate is open or closed, we will be generating power if water is flowing. I think that is a good idea. Could probably put a whole lot of water wheels in this entire channel if we really wanted to. We could fill the entire thing up, and it would probably generate a whole lot of power, so we might get into that. Maybe not this episode, but it could be a long-term project to just kind of fill this whole thing up. Of course, we need to expand the amount of gravity batteries we have, because right now these are dead zero. So we can easily add some more over here in this enormous reservoir. Look how deep this is. There's plenty of room. But we do have to have things connected for that to make sense. So that's more of a long-term thing. Aside from that, like I said, path layout can be reorganized a little bit better. We can do tiny improvements to efficiency by making sure stuff like, say for example, our breeding pods are prioritized by haulers, so they're always filled up. We can go ahead and do that right now, since we're already over here. And we're going to keep on getting more beavers, more bots, and expand as much as we can. Cover as much of the map as we can manage, and make sure that our beavers are happy, healthy, and efficient, because this is the Iron Teeth faction after all. Aside from that, we're lacking storage for certain supplies and materials. Like right here, you see we have 80 gears stored up, because we just have one small storage for gears. We could easily improve a lot of our production by having a larger buffer of things like gears and planks, although planks honestly right now are okay. We have capacity for 420 and we have 337 right now, so that's fine. But the gears are going to be a problem, especially when we get into this area over here and really ramp this up. That's going to require a lot more than we currently have. We're going to go through those really fast, so we'll need to take care of that. Farm buildings. Some of you guys made a comment that if all of these are right next to each other, it actually reduces the efficiency and the ability of these buildings to actually, do anything whatsoever. So we're going to turn a couple of them around, and that way we'll get a few more tiles on this side. So I'm thinking, based off of how these are set up, this one on the end here, and then this one right there, so we don't lose too much of our space. We'll just flip those around 180 degrees, and we can fit that in with a path right there and a path right here, and then all of a sudden we get access to all of this space for planting, and then this side as well has a substantial area it can plant on. And you still have the 4 here to handle the majority of the crops. We can move these builders' huts, because that's fertile land. We can get rid of those easily and figure out a couple other things there. We can also, in an effort to make our pathing a little bit easier to navigate, this area I think can be cleaned up. We might have to end up, I don't know, maybe tearing, I don't want to say tear all of it out, but it's not a very straightforward path, especially to get up here. We could very easily just have this come straight down here, and that would connect a little bit better over here. And then maybe even, I don't know, figure out some way of snaking around here to not take up too much grass space. That could be a work in progress, but there's definitely lots of room for improvement in that regard. There's tons that we can do. Let's see. Additionally, coffee. We have this huge huge thing of coffee, 1,200 units. It seems like it is being consumed. But in this district, District 1, we don't have, we actually have 7 bots that haven't been assigned. We'll have to take care of that. We've got 337 coffee. I don't know if anyone's actually drinking it, though. So if we click on some of these guys, see if we're... Okay, yep, he's got coffee. That's a bot. They're not going to drink coffee. Okay, this guy does not have coffee, so we actually need to figure out where our coffee is stored. So we'll press a tab, which is a nice trick I learned recently in a live stream to show what is in a building at a glance. So I don't remember where we put the coffee, but I know it has to exist in this district because, okay, 294. Okay, so the coffee tank is here. We just have this one right by the barracks here. So we could probably put another couple small ones in different spots. These are already empty, so why don't we just go ahead and say that this is going to hold that's going to hold oil. That's going to hold coffee. Just so we have that taken care of. I see some cassava that can be planted there, so we'll take care of that while we're over here. And this we're going to turn into, I believe it was kohlrabi after we had all the canola oil, or canola seed rather, removed. And that should be okay. This right here was also going to become, there's the carousel noise. This is also going to become a more efficient water dump. We'll make sure we go ahead and put that there. Even though presently we have enough water where that's not really a concern. It will become one if we're not careful. So we want to make sure we don't fall victim to that. We have plenty of jobs once we have everything kind of situated a little bit better. Split up a little more fairly. Just need to keep an eye on a lot of this stuff. Wood supply is looking very good. So like I said, just some minor improvements to organization and making sure stuff is good to go. So let's go ahead and turn on turbo speed, get everything moving. We do have a substantial, and I do mean substantial power deficit. We're only making 1,600 because we just have these 4 engines going right now. We got rid of a lot of them that were down here, so we have a dire need for more power. We're going to need to go all the way across this gap, most likely to fill in a lot of that. So naturally, first thing we're going to have to do is get over here at least a little bit so we can have these trees removed. It's going to be kind of a tall ask because I don't want to take up too much construction time or energy. But I think we can have a relatively somewhat pain-free way of getting over here just by building with the terrain. Is it the most efficient path? No. But it will get the beavers up there, and we can get up there and start cutting down trees, which is, again, the entire point of what we're doing here. And then once that's clear, we can build platforms on top. Probably, depending on how this is looking, we might just put a whole bunch of storage on a bottom level and then have these engines and everything on the same level they are now, so we have space underneath. We'll see what ends up happening. That is kind of a long-term goal for today. I think we should probably be more presently concerned with getting power out this way, because we're going to have it follow over here, and then also over here we'll just have one trunk line that'll go down the middle of the lake area probably, and then split off. See what the best routing for that's going to be, because most of the machinery in here is going to be probably built up on top of this once that is all taken care of. We got plenty of room. A couple people were asking why this is not completely square. I just didn't feel like it, honestly. That's the simple answer. But this geometry in here is not impossible for us to deal with. It's actually going to be really easy for us to fill this appropriately with all sorts of different storage. Like right here we have the 1,200 storage. We've got right here, and bam, just like that. That is an efficient use of that space. So don't fret. It is actually reasonably possible to make use of all this. And just like that, that is going to be tons of storage, probably more than we'd ever need. In fact, these large warehouses, we probably don't even need those at all. We can replace them with large industrial piles. Would probably be a much more efficient use of space. So we'll just go ahead and do that. And just like that, that whole area will be very efficiently used. We can store all of the things that go into the ruins and all of the things that come out using all of these different buildings. And even some food. Make it its own little district. Could also make this a bot district, but I'm not really too concerned about that. Now, we also don't have the science to unlock the efficient mine just yet, but we will. We'll let them take their time with all this, and I believe should be pretty doable. We also, don't forget, need to have these treated planks. We have 210. That's because that's the storage that we had allocated for it. So we'll need to come over here and probably start supplying everything once that ends up being a little bit closer to what we're doing. But we can go ahead and put in all of our little pathways here. Again, just give them some projects to work on so we can ignore this for a little while and then come back and see just what we need to do. Of course, we have our paths all the way around the top here. We will be having, I think, I can just put that back there. That's fine. Probably another couple of access points to make sure stuff is, you know, actually accessible. It's kind of the whole idea, right? So we'll just pop that in there, make sure anyone can get to it that needs to. And then I'm thinking for our processing up here, we're obviously going to want to have smelters. We also might want to have some other refinements for wood products because we do have, you know, all of this stuff right here. It would be very helpful to actually make all the stuff on site that the mine needs, which, just in case you're not aware, gears, treated planks, and if you want it to go fast, dynamite. So dynamite, of course, can be made from paper. So if we had a whole suite of industrial applications right here, this could be completely self-sufficient. And we could just export the metal blocks to other parts of the map very, very efficiently. So we'll come back to that in a little bit. I kind of feel like I'd need to give them access to all of this a little bit more easily here. So let's do that. Let's give them a fighting chance. Then I think if I have this set up like so, yeah, I can put stairs in the middle there. Just have this as a double stack. So that would actually connect quite nicely all the way down here. We just have the problem of getting into the bottom level. So that might end up having to be something that comes in from over here. Just have them kind of separated a little bit. Again, we don't have the ladders mod, and we will as soon as we have another modded playthrough, but this is vanilla. That's kind of the whole point of this, is to figure out how to actually, you know, play the game as it's intended, not with the weird stuff people think up, even as helpful as that is. So that solves the problem for that. This other stuff will just be facing the outside. And then best option probably is going to be some flavor of coming in on the side here and having this set up like that. I'm thinking for right now, based on how this is set up, we'll probably want to do this like so. And that, at the very least, gets us in. We can optimize a little better later and figure out which way we want our mine to face. We could go any of 4 ways because it's not like it really matters that much. It just has to be accessible, which it will be because we have paths going absolutely everywhere. So we can leave this alone for a little while. Like I said, come back and mess with that a little bit later. So as far as touching on the things that we talked about, oh, we didn't mark this for cutting. Touching on the things that we talked about at the start of the episode, a lot of that's just going to be kind of, you know, nickel and diming here and there, figuring out exactly what we can and cannot do. These farmhouses are already taken care of, so if we take a look at what our raw materials are looking like, we have tons of cassava. That's fine. We have enough corn, we have enough eggplants. I don't think we need to worry about that. We probably could plant some more soybeans. And we definitely would want those to be in an area where they will not flood because they die super quick if they get wet. So up here would actually be a perfect place for those. So we'll start by planting a small crop here that we can nurture and not flood. That'll be a pretty easy thing to do. These guys can reach that. These guys can reach that. Of course, we have plenty others we can stick in. Aside from that, everything is looking pretty good. We could stand to have some more coffee. And like I said, this area over here on the other side actually is accessible for planting by everything currently. So if we get rid of this farmhouse, we can actually grow coffee here in this spot because this is accessible by the forester. We can take advantage of another, looks like 13 spots, which more than, well, it doesn't quite double it, but it is a big improvement. So we'll just go ahead and do that because that's what they can access. And then we can put another farmhouse elsewhere. Or once all this is removed, we could just have this completely connect. Because now we have these areas slowly spooling up. We do have 6 for cassava. We have 3 for soybeans. And over here, these are set for mushrooms. So once we have mushrooms, then we can just have this be directly connected. We can get rid of... honestly, we could get rid of these water wheels here and all of these power things on this side. Gain a little bit more space for planting. So we just have to decide how we want this to be set up as far as the additional fermenters. We also, need to have more power, which is going to be something we're going to have to contend with as far as the layout of things. But while we're doing that, let's come over here, think about that for a second, and start building all of this. I actually should not have gotten rid of that staircase because we have all of these rubbles we need to connect. And I know we have scrap metal planks, logs here. What's in here? Logs and planks. We just need more storage. And that was one of the things we were going to do last episode, 2 episodes ago. We never really got too far into it, so we'll do a little bit of that today. We can, however, start by building, I think, yeah, we're going to want it to be here. We'll put another one on the other side, and then this, of course, will directly connect to other buildings that we need to be operating up here. Based on the layout of stuff, we're going to want to have industrial lumber mills. If we could put 1 here, we could put 2 here, actually, and have some space on the side if we decided we needed it. Or we could do industrial lumber mills. We could actually have these kind of set up in a kind of unorthodox unorthodox fashion, excuse me. Well, I don't think we need to get too crazy. If we really felt like we could have something that's 4 deep, but again, I'm not going to be that worried about it. Because we don't have any processing for, well, anything over here yet. And we're going to generate plenty of power when these are coming out. We just need to make sure we can get the batteries involved. That's going to take a little bit of thinking, and I'm not entirely sure what the best way to do that's going to be. I think we might want to go ahead, since we are already here, give ourselves a little bit of space by putting in a couple of those high power shafts to get across this. And then, at the very least, that gets us access to the backside without having to tear stuff down in the future. Then we could have this transfer power, maybe just on top of, I'll get rid of that power shaft. On top of this thing, we'd have an entire separate level going to either side, and then if we can figure out a way to get these trees out of here without wasting the wood, that's going to be kind of difficult based on the range implications involved. But I don't think it's impossible. We can at the very least start building here to try and get power, but that is a long way away. So what we'll go ahead and do now, I think pretty safe to go ahead and put in industrial lumber mill, and a gear workshop. Just right there to get some basic stuff going for this district. And then once they come collect these other parts here, then we'll be able to put this other water wheel, take the stairs out and all that. We just need more storage. We have logs here. And if we can find, I guess I could change because we have log storage over there. Probably shouldn't get too crazy, but this could easily be planks. And then we can, that's the Windows key, not the Alt key. There we go. Plank storage here can become logs. These are already logs, logs, good. So this will be fine to have planks in it. We'll just have to get them to, what do you mean there's no storage? We have storage. Does it have to be connected with a path for them to recognize that there's storage here? Oh, that is set to supply. So we'll set that to regular. Well, at some point they should figure out how that works. I think we can leave that alone for right now. Meanwhile, over here, stuff seems to be progressing reasonably well. I had paused this because we had some materials trapped here, and I think we can unpause this now. Get more oil working because our tanks here are not completely full. So if we're going to be building additional fermenters here, we're going to have a slightly better layout in terms of power transfer, because all of these right now are connected to this side with this one power shaft. These tanks, of course, do not conduct electricity, power, whatever you want to call what's going on here. And at some point, we're going to have this actually connected back over here to improve the logistics of how stuff is set up. So it's going to be kind of weird for us to get power somewhere else unless we just have this side be completely inaccessible and turn this into another power shaft, or we can have it come up from beneath, which might actually be the better option. I'm thinking that's probably what we want to do. So we can go ahead and build this out here, come out right to about there. We're going to have to move this and turn this into a T intersection, which I'm actually going to make into a four-way just in case we need to come back later. Make that high priority. They should have no problems coming in to take care of that. So once that's taken care of, we can actually run this all the way down this way, or we can come back on this side and have some sort of a, I don't know, some sort of system where it comes back up and into the side of something else, because I do think we want to have good connectivity here. I'll go ahead and put in that path. So we don't technically need to be able to come across over here, although I think it might end up being beneficial for getting these two sides stuck together, because right now this tile, if you want to go from this tile to this tile, you have to go all the way around and then back up. But if we had this all connected here, like we were proposing, now all of a sudden you have access from here to here, and the color of the path actually changed because we had so much more access to it. Look, now we come back over here. These are a little darker, you know? Right here, there's actually a pretty substantial difference in distances, excuse me, between those two. But if we connect that up, now it is a much lighter shade of yellow-green, and this is now 43 tiles away instead of 47. So yes, that's only 4, but you get the idea. 48, 48, 48, 41, 41, 42, 41, 47. Put this in. These are the same distance, but these are a little closer. That kind of thing can matter. Also, alternative routes are great for efficiency, even if it's only a couple tiles shorter between the district center and one of these buildings. You could have destinations from or to these food factories to, say, where the food is grown or stored. That would be a little bit more efficient if they could take an alternate route. So that's good to see there. Did we get our connections taken care of here? It looks like we did. So I think now we can continue how this is set up here just by putting in some additional stilts. We'll start with another 3 set of these fermenters, which we should be doing mushrooms with. Those kind of mushrooms. Nope. These mushrooms. So we'll get that set up ahead of time. And then we can get rid of those over there. I don't think we're going to have any issues only having 3 fermenters for mushrooms instead of the 4, because if you notice, we actually don't have any raw mushrooms right now. They've all been processed, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. We don't have a ton of them being grown anyway, although we are going to change that as we continue going along. So now, of course, what we'll have to do is have power come up. I don't think it'll work from below, and we also, in vanilla, don't have the vertical power shafts. So we will have to come up from behind with one of those things, and then we will lose, because of that happening, we will lose 2 spaces in here. So what we're going to want to do is probably, I think I can have this set up the way we want it by putting in a high power shaft here, then one here, then drag this all the way around, make that a 4-way just because. So we'll lose the space in the middle, but if we do that, then we can also put charging stations right here for our bot friends. And I think that will be a very good use of that space. We'll just lose these couple in the middle here. And we can have our stilts come over here, come along the backside, and put in some of those as well. Eventually we will need them. And then this one piece right here in the middle, you know what we're going to do. Put in some charging stations. That should be a big help there. Now this area over here is not going to have power, so what we can do is either put storage here or figure out some other appropriate use. And I think we'll be a-okay. So I will go ahead and prime this for some additional fermenting. We're not going to need it right now. But now that these are online, we can go ahead and get rid of everything over here. And now look at this mess over here that we've cleared up. We could even put more water wheels here if we really wanted to, and just have them connected on this side. In fact, yeah, we could replace these here. And can I get more? I probably couldn't get more mangroves planted here, could I? No, probably not. But getting this out of here is really going to help this area on the other side. And we can keep our pathway. We can't get rid of this because this is the actual power trunk coming up to this side. But we can figure out what the best route across here is to lose the least amount of space. And I think it's going to be to come over here. I know I just deleted one. Don't roast me for it. Just have something like that, and then this can actually be storage or some other use. We already have the platforms here. There's no reason to get rid of them if we can use them. That's going to allow us to not have to worry about this path either, because we don't need to get down here. So once this is picked up, I think... Well, actually, we don't need that, because they can just walk along this whole thing. So we've reclaimed a couple of spots, actually, which is very nice. These farmhouses can now get over here. So all of this area is actually serviceable by multiple farmhouses. Love to see that. So we could turn this back into kohlrabi if we chose. I think they can get to all of these except maybe this last piece they probably can't. Well, now I'm Now I'm interested. I don't know. Maybe we won't have to worry about it. And I'm trying to think about, would it have been better to just dam this thing off and have this go down sooner? That's still something we can do. Just don't want it to turn into something that's going to cause more harm than good, you know? We could very easily have this go down here instead of coming all the way down here, but that would let water travel directly from here into this channel, into our lake down here. And that would just drain this whole area instantly as the water level here gets lower. I don't think we want to risk that, so I think we're probably pretty okay with how most of this is presently set up. So all that being said, I think maybe a little overkill, but I think we could put another farmhouse somewhere over here just to get a little bit better access to stuff. Would not be the worst thing ever to have one right here, even though we would lose one tile of planting. Now, if this gets us into the corner, it does. Okay, we could just stick that here. If I can get into that one corner by having this right here, I think yeah, we're good. We'll just put that guy right there. And then we have some more space for storage if we want it. Turn that into gathering only. And then I think these guys should be able to get all of this canola harvested. Then we can put our kohlrabies back in action here. There's a surprisingly high number of people that were almost defensive of them when I was complaining about how inefficient of a crop they were. So I guess they can count themselves among, or the kohlrabies at least can count themselves as having a hardcore group of fans. But that should help our food just a little bit here. That is already a much better use of the space to get rid of the stuff here. Won't need to worry about it. That'll be a-okay. So that should be pretty good there. Now this area up here still is really only serviced by this one farmhouse. We can get this out of canola land for sure. I thought about just putting a staircase here so these guys could get up there, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the best use of the space. Probably isn't the worst, though. So maybe we'll do that after this grows up. We'll just make sure this is not planted so we can take advantage of that. So this is looking quite good. Of course, oh, look, we have an idiot. You know, it doesn't need to be this hard. It really doesn't. Sometimes these beavers just don't use any common sense. So let's hope his buddies build these platforms before he's, well, starving to death. And even after all that, we still don't have gear storage, so let's make sure we can do that. We have some of these trees already cut down. Yep, looking good there. Now, I didn't put any storage underneath here, primarily because it would be kind of impossible to get into this spot on the lower levels. But we do have a little bit of room over here to tuck in some small storages. And this one we can make gears. We do a similar kind of thing back here, just all the way back. Or we could just leave this like this. It's probably fine. Guess we'll make that for gears as well, because we actually have the ability to reclaim one more slice, one more block right here by platforming up on top of this. Because this also could very well be used to a much better extent here. Let's put one more tree here. Yeah, that's 8 more pieces of wood, I'll have you know. And we don't need this to connect here, but if we wanted to, we could. Or we could just leave this for some sort of future expansion into something else. But that will take care of our gear problems at least somewhat. It'll help. It's not going to make everything super better instantly, but it is something. Yeah, once they have all these trees taken care of, then we can come back in, bridge across here, and make much better use of all this space. I do think we have enough space here to put one more of these engines. We're just going to have to build platforms a little aggressively here. And we are going to have to sever this power link to make sure everything is connected up here. We'll put in another 4-way. And then we'll have to have this probably pass underneath. So yeah, we'll have to completely rebuild all this. So let's actually save this for right now. Yeah, we're going to have to completely take this out because I didn't make these double layers. That is unfortunate. Yeah, because to get this to connect appropriately, it's going to kind of be a pain. Because we will lose some space on this side that we could otherwise have put a power generating or consuming building in. So let's think about this. If I do that way, like so, I can put in the high power shaft like that, but then I have to have something else on this side. Turn the power around. And then we'll have to do the same thing here. Do a little loop-de-loop. We can build on top of this one, but we can't build on top of this. Then that, of course, will be directly connected into something else. That'll be fine. We can actually fit 2 more buildings here. I just have to think about how this is going to work. We're going to have most likely building from something like this. And then we'll have to artificially come in here in a space we don't really want to. Wouldn't be the worst way to do it, actually, now that I think about it. Because we will end up putting a building on top of this. We just need to build under here first. So we did that. And then I think, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. We're not so hard pressed on most of this construction that we can't go at least a little bit of time without power here. So if we got rid of all of this, really, then all we have to do is double layer right here. Also not lose track of where we are with this. I am glad that I kept up with that, because that's going to need to be double stacked. We'll need to have our power come through this way. We're also going to have the power go that way across, which I guess we probably should do. I think it actually could just come out the side of the other building, so let's not worry about that. Just have that come in like so. This is complicated, doesn't it? It really does not need to be this hard, but, you know, sometimes it's fun, right? Sometimes it's fun to do things that don't make sense. No, actually, no, we don't need this this straight power shaft at all. Doesn't have to be like that, because we can just put another building there. So hopefully that will work. I think I can access everything based on how this is set up. They should be able to be okay there once all the different platforms are built. We might actually have better luck doing that if we have this set up as well, because we are going to have to come out this way to have access to the other side. That's probably where we're going to have our direct crossing anyway. And I think it would make more sense for that to just be a bridge instead of a whole bunch of platforms, because that would take a whole lot of building to get that done. So I think we can come back in a little bit and see how they're doing with that. This is just going to be kind of a mess in the meantime. Oh yeah, they don't have any power either. That's fine. We have plenty of food stored up. I'm not worried about it. Now, over here, good, we have trees growing. Do we have storage? No, we need to set these up for storage. We're going to do regular old logs. Next level up can be... Well, we have multiple sets of this. We'll just have regular logs on this side. So we will need that. Remember, the mines require, to operate, they require treated planks, gears, and dynamite at the speed we want to go. So these will need to be treated plank storage. Probably all of these, honestly. Treated plank storage, regular log storage for the purposes of powering the power generation that's going to be over here. Nice and easy to access. Probably put one of these up on top, facing in. Depending on how we want to run our power, that will, I think, remain to be seen. But getting storage in here for treated planks is going to be good because we'll start automatically importing from the other district as well. We'll have them all ready to go. These right here can end up being dynamite. There we go. And then, of course, we also have gears, which will help solve our gear storage in the other district because they're just going to be constantly importing these. So that's good. And then these can be used for different foodstuffs. Like we have algae rations. We actually don't have any corn rations, but we will, now that we have somewhere for them to go. Eggplant rations, so that's all the processed food right there. And we can continue adding more storage elsewhere around the map, around this side of things. We have a room here for a water tank, but we can't build anything on top of the water tank, remember? So we put a medium tank. That's actually a good use of that space. We just won't be able to put anything on top of it, which, you know, is probably fine. So we'll have that set up for water. Then we have some space here that we could put some smaller storages in if we wanted to, but right now this would be good at least minimally keeping this district alive with all of the stuff it needs to run the mine. Once we get there, we actually can go ahead and research that and start building it. And then we just have to decide which way we want the doorway to face. We could easily go here, it would connect fine. Here it would connect fine. If we put over here, it would have to connect to a new thing. But the closest to the bottom level, based on how we have things currently set up, would be to have the mine facing that way. So I think that's what we'll do. It'll be closest to our treated planks and our dynamite storage. And then the gears are, of course, right around the corner. That's a very efficient supply. Should be good to go. We can even make these bottom ones obtaining. Or we could just make the top one set to supply. That's probably a smarter way of doing it. Yeah, that should be good. We'll make this top one set to supply as well. So now our guys working as lumberjacks can come in and distribute stuff, keep themselves busy. We have all of these here, of course, that are going to be inserted. So hopefully, wow, look how fast they're building this now. Putting all these different materials in. It's going to take a while to get 450 gears and 300 treated planks, but they are well on their way. And that will be more than fine. So we can leave that alone now. How are we doing over here? Good. We have this set in place. They're still waiting on materials to build that. Which I guess I can pause this so they can actually still get down there to build this. Waiting on gears. Color me surprised. And it's probably going to take them a little while to accomplish. And of course they don't have enough workers to do all this anyway. We'll have to do some probably pretty significant expansion of this district. We could stand to put in some more housing anyway, so let's do that. We can migrate some more beavers over. Just put all those in the same spot. Good. Let them do what they want to do. How are things looking over here? Kohlrabies are being harvested. Very nice. Let's put in our staircase in this spot. So now that's going to mean once that's built, they should at the very least be able to get to some of these once the stairs are in place. We'll find out in a second once those are built. Just how much that's going to work. Yeah, see, look at that. Now they can get at almost all of this up here. And that's massively increasing the efficiency of that space, which we absolutely love to see. This is all connected again, which is very good. I think we can just go ahead and get this built up a little bit more. I don't think we need to worry about having power pass through on the bottom anymore. Should be all right. No, I didn't want that one. There we go. And this will be a double 3, which is going to get us one more of these engines stuck over here. And then I think we can put in 2 more of these lumber mills. Or maybe we want to put in some more gear workshops. I'm not sure. We seem to be making a decent amount of gears. So I think I'm probably a little bit more inclined to have another couple of lumber mills. There's not really anything else we can put up here because these are all 4 deep. So if we did that, connect those up, set this to be a low priority workplace. And of course we'll have to have the ability to get in here. That might be helpful. And then I think we can turn this into part of a bridge. Now, if this is a 3x, that'll get us... that'll actually get us almost all the way across. Then is this too high, or was I just off? Yeah, I was off 1. I want to put in... I guess it's going to be a 4x. See, that requires metal, which I don't think we want. So I'm gonna put in a... right there. Yeah, that'll be fine. We'll double stack this just so I can run a path here if I need to. Put a 3x. There we go. Of course, they can't build the other side of this until these platforms are built. So we'll have to rely on the beavers to come up here and take care of that. I don't know that they can right now unless I build this path a little bit closer. Yeah, I think it's reachable now. But that will get us across the gap in a nice and elegant fashion. And then I think that's about as much building as we want to do over here without things getting too crazy. So now I'm trying to think, would it be possible to reorganize this a little bit to take advantage of power delivery? I'm not sure that it would be, or that it would be advisable at least. That would get a little complicated. But this right now should be doing okay. We have, of course, these 8 bots we haven't done anything with in quite some time. So why don't we go ahead and start making some of this stuff a little bit more automated. Food-wise, though, we're looking really, really good on how all of this stuff is shaping up. So I'm not tempted to turn these into automated just yet. I think what we might want is another hauling post just full of bots, so they can spread everything around whenever we want them to do that. So why don't we... yeah, let's unplant that guy. Oh, 4%. Okay, no, you can just get deleted. That's fine. We'll put a hauling post right here and make it all bots. All right. And then we could actually, if we wanted to... come on, let me click. We could put a couple of charging stations in this general area by putting in, excuse me, some paths here. In fact, I think it would be easier. I think it would be easier if we just turned this into a T intersection and did that way. Yeah, that should be pretty easy once we get everything stuck in here. Might take him a while to get that done, though. That is the end of the drought, though. We're here in cycle 27, so let's make sure before we get too far into anything that we're all set. We're not going to flood everything. Turn this to 1.5. And we can replenish this area by setting that to 0.5 as well. And then, of course, over here, I guess I don't need to have it completely paused. This down to 2.5 so it doesn't flood again. Do we have this built yet? Or are we still waiting on... Come on, let me click on this. Still waiting on gears. So is that because we don't have any gear storage in this district? It might actually be. I really don't have a single gear storage. Are these all piles? Okay, yeah, that's definitely what it is. Okay. Well, in that case, why don't we just go ahead right here and put in storage for gears, and then maybe they can come in and get everything hooked up that way. Okay, now that is ready to be removed, so we can put in our second water wheel as soon as we get everything picked up here. I know it's only there's 3 logs, 6 planks, but hey, every little bit counts in an accessory district that doesn't have the highest amount of storage of everything. What happens if I did this? Was it going to shift the rubble somewhere else? I actually don't know what it did with the rubble. Where? Oh, it's under here. Okay, they can still grab that. That's fine. Alright, and once this fills up, then these will start turning. We'll provide an obscene amount of power to our lumber mills that can't be staffed because we don't have enough beavers. Wow, we actually have 34 open jobs. That seems kind of extreme. We have 11 open jobs in this district, and we have 10 open spots. So let's bring in another 10 beavers. We have the space to house them. And see what jobs they start filling up here. Looks like they'll be able to take advantage of that. We just need them to be able to build this stuff once they have the gears. I don't know why I keep pausing stuff. Anyway, so that is good progress there. These guys won't be able to charge until they have all the gears they need, which gears seem to be kind of a hot commodity. So maybe I should have... Okay, I need to set this to bots. There we go. Then I guess we can turn our factories back on. Maybe we shouldn't. We do have 40 bots already. I think we could probably better allocate them to be working in here, but I don't have the science to do that yet. So I'll turn 3 of those back on and 2 of those back on. Because we do have bots working in those. So at the very least we can keep making more bots. Alright, and then this little bit of kohlrabi here will end up being removed as soon as that's finished growing. We'll put the path in there, and then that should help our bots down in this area. And everything is looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. We are coming up on the hour mark, so we will go ahead and end this one at the start of the next drought. But yeah, we accomplished a whole lot so far from our list we talked about at the beginning of the episode. Seems like stuff is going well. I guess what we can go ahead and do while we're waiting is to continue running our power out this way, because that is something that we said we were going to do, and we just kind of stalled. So I guess we don't really need to worry about how it looks in the lake. It really doesn't matter. But we do need to be able to get it through all of this. So let's just kind of run it in a straight line. I don't think it needs to be that big of a deal. We'll just have it come in these areas. Actually, we're not going to have that go down. We'll just build a platform here. All the way down. If we ever need to tap into it, it'll be nice and easy. Then we can actually have this run through... We can have it run through the channel here, actually. We could have it go around this way. We could have it go around this way. Probably... Oh, there's trees there. Yeah, let's Let's put a little T. We'll put that right there. I'll actually leave that open so we don't have to worry about anybody getting stuck. But I think I can have this come in this way. Have to leave strategic gaps here so we don't have anybody get too irritated about, oh, I can't go anywhere. Then we can fill in the gaps later. Alright, so that's going to be, I think, yeah, that's the right orientation. We'll just have this come all the way around in through the corner here. Not the most efficient routing, but that's fine. Then we just have to have this come up and over our dam here, because we don't have any we don't have any tunnels we can do with these. So I think what we'll end up doing. Oh, now I gotta think. Now I have to think. That's the annoying part, is thinking. Now if we have that come over the top like so, that means it needs to come over this way. This is gonna be really ugly, so don't get too upset with me when this is a very hideous and not pleasant looking piece of engineering here. Now I don't know that they're going to be able to build all of this without some platform help. Actually, probably unlikely that they'd be able to without any help. Alright, there's our 3-day warning. I've already got that set up nicely. Yeah, well, we'll probably end up finishing this next time if this is going to take as much time as I think it is. Or maybe we could actually just have this integrated with another layer of pathing for this area. That might actually be the smart way to spin this. Just have this come across. That's actually about the right spot for it, too. Yeah, that's not the worst thing ever. Just have this come straight across like so, another little bit of connection. Oh, that actually might be slightly beneficial. A shorter period of time to get from here to here. That should allow them to build down. And then the problem is going to become, how do you build across with all of these? So that's solved by doing that. It's a whole lot of materials just to get power to another part of the map, isn't it? Not the most efficient of time or material use. But that's alright. I sure hope I don't have to worry about a beaver getting stuck on that tile. But I guess you never really know, do you? You can never truly be sure. And then I think we can come in this same trunk here. Can come in and just go up that way, but that's going to take us quite a while. We do have power coming out here. Water coming out here, not power coming out. Generating a whole 330 horsepower. That is enough to run these two right here, so that's good. We'll have this connect eventually, of course. How are we looking here? They're still not attached with paths because we haven't done that yet, so that takes care of that problem. I think we can go ahead and shut that. There's plenty of water back on that side. And that should increase our power output here. Hopefully we can charge our batteries a little bit because these guys are still at absolute zero. Hey, we have this taken care of. Good. Just one more tree to get rid of there. Oh, we're actually not as bad as I thought on power consumption for recharging. Why are we flooding here? This should not be flooding. That should go down. Should go down. I haven't added any additional. There we go. All right, in the interest of actually charging the batteries, I'm going to pause these again. And let's see what that did to our stats. Okay. So it's lowered it a little bit. Not the best. Especially because these are all bot operated. But at nighttime, when these are not running, because they're all beavers, then that should help our batteries recharge a little bit. I actually have half a mind to go ahead and pause most of this anyway. Yeah, we have plenty of planks. Let's pause just for right now. Pause a number of these things, see if that helps our power situation at all. Yeah, because we want to be able to store power. It is going up rather slowly. Have these, yeah, these have stopped. The engines are continuing to go, so let's, just for right now, pause all of that. See how fast we can get these to go up. Alright, well that's not super inspiring. But it is some degree of power retention. Yeah, this will be a major thing to focus on next episode to try and get that all caught up. But at least we have something going on. There's still no water in this, huh? How are we so low on water? We shouldn't be. Because these guys should be exporting water. These guys should be... Oh. Why is that? Why is that a thing? I guess we can make this into a bot job since we have so many bots that are unemployed. Yeah, bad on me for not noticing that. That's actually kind of a huge problem. Yeah, we got to get these guys pumping ASAP. In fact, since we have so many bot haulers, we could probably prioritize these so our pumpers don't have to leave. Yeah, that's, how in the world did I let that happen? Well, at least we're not all super thirsty. We're still flooding here. Alright, love to see that. Our batteries, once again, not nearly full. We got a lot of work to do next time around. Make sure they get and stay full. But that is going to be an adventure for another day. We'll have to remember that these are paused when we start again next time. But we do have, I guess, a tiny amount of power stored up. It's got to count for something, right? How in the world was I dumb enough to not notice that this was an issue? Well, I guess because we have so many beavers here taking care of all that stuff. I guess since we imported another 10 to this district, we didn't really notice any issues happening there. But I am going to go ahead and raise our floodgates since we're almost in drought time. We'll say goodbye to our power. This looks like it should be fine. I guess I'll let a little bit more water out. Just a little bit. And we'll cut it off just as soon as that starts spilling down in there. There we go. Get this nice and full. That should be good to go. That'll keep us relatively full over here. I know this isn't ever going to get higher than a certain amount because it's, well, one level lower here. So that'll be fine. 29-day drought. All right, challenge mode back again. But I think we're in a good spot. We just have to figure out how we're going to get more power. And we're going to have to get the power shafts across. Probably build at least one set of platforms, but not all the way across. Not everything all the way across. That would be kind of insane, but one or two of them we probably could do. So that'll be a next episode thing. This guy has dutifully gotten rid of all the trees, so he can go do something else. And we do have a bridge across here. We just have to start building up and out. So yeah, that's going to be a fun thing to tackle next time around. This area down here is actually starting to fill up. Some of these things are starting to fill up at least. And this mine is not that far away from being done. We just need another 209 gears and another 70 treated planks, and this thing will be good to go. We have water here. We have plenty of food. We've got logs. Gears, not so much. We're working on that. But we do have explosives. And we'll have treated planks soon enough. That'll be nice to keep track of there. We're still letting water out? Shouldn't be letting water out. I guess we had some extra we weren't paying attention to. But at any rate, I think we're going to be okay with our water situation here. Yeah, it looks like we are. We just let things get a little bit out of hand. Nothing we can't easily fix next time. So yeah, thanks for being here. Got a lot of good stuff done. A lot to do in the future. I'm glad that you're a part of it. I hope whatever you are doing, that you have a fun and a safe day. And I'm just grateful that you're here. And especially so to those of you in the Beard Booster program. We have a lot now. We have like 30, I think, which is mind-blowing. I never thought I'd get more than 1 or 2. So thank you very much to all of you who are part of that. You can see the names on the screen there. Contributions to that make it a little easier for me to keep doing this every single day. And I'm very grateful to each of you, even if you're not part of that, even if you don't subscribe, even if you just watched this one video. I'm glad you're here. Thanks again. I truly mean it. I hope you have a fantastic day. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you tomorrow for a brand new Kingdoms Reborn series. Yeah, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.